Hello everybody, this is Brandon Brony bringing you my Flufflal deck for February 2nd, 2016. I built this way back when they first came out with like Bear, Leo, and like Toy Vendor, back when they had just had those like 5 or 6 cards. And I had like, I don't know the name of the spell, but like Fusions gain like 1500, whatever it's equipped to. And they had Bear, yeah, try for a Bear, oh, it's such a good card. But I love this deck. This is probably like my favorite deck of like all time. I probably said that about other decks, but this is like been for sure like my favorite deck. I just like put it off to the side because I didn't have support and I didn't have the ability to get the support I needed. When I was pretty much done. This is the first deck I actually built a side deck for. So it's like wow. Well, minus like these top 3 Leviathan Sea Dragons, but honestly, I'm just gonna be putting them somewhere. I don't know. I just carry them with me in case I ever want to use them. So yeah, I'll actually profile a side deck for once. I thought those were kind of stupid, but I don't know. I'm gonna have one now. So let's just start the deck off. This deck reminds me a lot of like radioactive Teddy Bear Zombies, a game I played when I was a little kid, and it's like so cool. So I run 3 Flufflal Dog. The staple, like the main staple of the deck. When you summon normal special summon, you can add an Edge of Sabers or Flufflal monster from your deck to your hand. 1700 beater, which is really nice. A good combo to use with him is to summon him, have sheep, special sheep, and then return him to the hand to add Edge of Sabers from your grave or your... yeah, it's a special summon Edge of Sabers from your grave or your hand. So that's a really cool combo you can do there. Next, I run 3 Bear. He's another staple. He goes with Toy Vendor. You can send him to the grave, from your hand to the grave, to set Toy Vendor directly face down from your deck, and then you can activate it, it's just a spell. Or you can summon him, send him to the grave, add polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, from your graveyard. Yeah, to your hand. I just want to make sure. My flooring is showing. Sorry about that. She's like another staple, 1200, but this isn't that bad, you know. It's like what can you do? And then I have 3 Flufflal Mouse. Honestly, he's not as good as everyone says he is. If you can't run 3 Mouse, that's okay. You can just run a Leo and a Saw, which is a loose. Or replace Saw with Owl, a 3rd Owl. Maybe a King of the Swamp, or Sabers, Draper, whatever. Or just pretty much anything from the side I'm going to show you. So like any of those you can replace it with. Or just not. And that 3rd one just not have it at all. Because that's I didn't have one at all, honestly. I'll probably show you what Leo does. Real quick. Leo, he gains 500 attack in the battle phase. Do that like 2100, which is really good. So. And Saw, even if you don't use for, fight for, is it, what's the guy's name? Wow, he's like my favorite one. Leo, it was Leo. Saw, so when he's normal summon, you can send 1 Flufflal monster from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, and place 1 from your hand on either the top or bottom of the deck. You know, he just, that's what he does. That's his thing. That's the thing he does. I have like matches sorted by monsters and stuff. Oh, so when he's summoned, you can special summon 2 Flufflal mouse from your deck. You can't special summon from the extra deck, except for Frighters. So I mean, it's not that big a deal. Fluff, get out of here. Then I run 2 Owl. Probably one of my favorites, honestly. Probably like my favorite Flufflal of the deck. That or Cat. Maybe Cat. So when he's summoned, you can add a... This map does not stay down. Okay, I'm sorry about that. When you summon, you can either add a polymerization to your hand or pay 500 life points to fusion summon from your side of the field. I think, or your hand. Yeah, or your hand. A fight for a fusion monster. So he himself acts as polymerization, or he gets you a polymerization. Then I run 2 sheep. Mind you, have like at least 3 of all these Flufflal monsters and stuff too, which is one of the nice things in case I ever decide to add, you know, other stuff. So like I already told you what he does, or she, whichever. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I like the little glasses on Owl. Like you got itty bitty little owl glasses, and it's like, aw. That's just beside the point. Sheep, you can special summon him from your hand if you control a Flufflal monster other than a sheep. And then you can return one Flufflal monster from the field to your hand to special summon an Edge Imp Sabers from your... or an Edge Imp. Any Edge Imp, which is nice. From the deck, or from your hand, or from your grave. I'm sorry, I'm like stumbling through this stuff. There's so many things this deck can do, and it's like, how am I gonna list them all? I'll let me forget. I run 2 Flufflal Wings. He's amazing, like, the reason why this deck is awesome. He works well with Toy Vendor. So what you can do is if you have him in your hand and you have Toy Vendor on the field and you haven't used Toy Vendor's effect, you can discard him to the graveyard to draw a card and reveal it. It doesn't matter if it's Flufflal, if it's usually, even if it's a spell, it doesn't matter because usually you're doing pretty damn good with this deck. So then you got Flufflal Wings in your graveyard, and then if you have another Flufflal in your grave, you can banish Wings and the Flufflal, banish them, draw a card, and then you can send, while he's banished, you can send this that you control to the graveyard to draw another card, and when this card's sent to the graveyard, you can add an Edge Imp Sabers or Flufflal monster from your deck to your hand, which is like insanely amazing. Usually I'd add Bear, send Bear to the grave to reset another Toy Vendor from my deck, to reset him face down. So it's like, whoa, it's amazing. You get like 3 cards from that one card. One of I run 1 cat and 1 rabbit. Most people just run either 1 cat or 1 rabbit. Cat gives you a polymerization back from the grave they use for a fusion summon when he's like fused. And then Rabbit, when he's fused, you can add an Edge Imp Sabers or a Flufflal monster from your, other than Rabbit, from your graveyard to your hand. And this mat does not stay down. I gotta figure that out. I should just like tape it or something. Do this on a tiled surface in that video. Now the Edge Imp Sabers, I run 2 Edge Imp Sabers. Pretty much what you can do is special summon him from the grave by putting him in defense position. By placing... Oh, no, just by placing 1 card from your... I don't know what card I was thinking of, but it's like... you can special summon him from the grave by putting 1 card from your hand on top of the deck. And then, if it's a Flufflal monster, you can use his effect to discard a card, draw a card, and reveal it's Flufflal, special summon any Flufflal. You know, which is really good. I only run 2, though. Back when, like, they had barely anything, I ran 3. I run 2 chain. Maybe you could run 3. I don't know. I don't use his effects ever at all. I don't have any really fright for traps. I think he just means traps. So yeah, I'm gonna read his effects since I don't ever use it. When this card declares an attack, you can add 1 Edge Imp chain from your deck to your hand. When this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a fright for card from your deck to your hand. You only use Edge Imp chain effect once per turn and only once that turn. So I mean, I guess you could add fright for fusion, but I mean. Honestly, like, by the time I ever get him, it's like, I already have fusion stuff, and I don't need him. Because I'll have, like, a cat or something, and then I have, like, owls and polymerizations and stuff. By the way, I don't think I ever said this. When you use him, I usually search out for either bear, wings, or owl. That's who I usually search for to get my polymerizations and stuff. The last 2 monsters I run are the Dark Hexseal Fusion. He pretty much does the exact same thing King of the Swamp is, but substantially cheaper. So, like, you don't even have to have King of the Swamp. I only have 1. I'm surprised myself I had 1. I was, like, looking through my Aquas, because I don't have an Aqua. I'm like, I don't see him. And then, like, later I was looking for stuff. I'm like, oh, there's King of the Swamp right there. I actually have 1. So what he does, is he acts as a dark fusion material. He acts as a fusion material for a fusion summon of a dark monster, which is all of these guys. By the way, this is like a purely fusion extra deck, so like there's like no XYZ, nothing. Which is cool, it's fun. So this guy, you can substitute him for any fusion material monster, but the other ones must be correct. I usually use him for like Saw, or just anything that I need at the time. It's usually a Saw. And then you can fusion summon monsters from your side of the field to special summon a dark one, so like he also acts as polymerization, but for only the field. I'll talk about King of the Swamp in a bit when I get to him. But I run 2 of him. Maybe you could add a 3rd. I don't even think I have a 3rd, honestly. Why? I only have the 2. The spells. Alright, we got 3 toy vendor. Staple, like I said. This is, that makes me angry. Okay, toy vendor. So once per turn, you can discard a card, draw a card, and reveal it. Usually, if you can, try to discard a wing so you can get that effect off. Draw a card and reveal it. If it's a Flufflal monster, you can special summon one monster from your hand. Right? Oh yeah, just one monster, just any monster. Otherwise, discard the card you drew. Then if you send to the graveyard, you add a Flufflal or Edge of Saber from your deck to your hand. So, when I said you can special summon, it means you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to, which is really nice. It makes the card even better. One of the few, the only reason why I have Naturas, I don't really run them as much, is because, I have the deck, but I don't really use it that much, is because, that trap isn't as good, at 3. I think I'm gonna put it at 2, maybe. I'm still working on them. Again, I used to have the deck, and then I just kind of dropped it out. Okay. That's usually what happens with decks. Rather than scrap them, I kind of end up taking the sleeves, and then the cards get back into my cards to have stuff to build, and it's in the back of my mind to rebuild that deck. I run 1 effect for factory. So pretty much what you can do is you can banish polymerization or except for diffusion wave motion, and yeah, but you can banish a polymerization or a fusion card, so for fusion, which I'll show you here in a second, to fusion summon stuff from your graveyard. Yeah, no. Yeah, from your hand to your side of the field, not the graveyard. Okay. And if you send to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished for fusions and add it to your hand. Okay. So usually, like I said, you'd banish this card here, fight for fusion. It's kind of it just lets you fusion summon, banish from your side of the field to the graveyard. The fusion materials. This is the fusion summon of a Frightful monster. There's a lot of banishment stuff, which is why I love the Sea Dragon. You could put in there because there are level 3s. Plus, he's a detachment, so which means if you use Edge of Sabers, you can get him back in your grave, and you can do a special thing for him. Which is the thing I used to do. I had toy box or something like that, a Mystic box, and I freaking XCs for what's that rank? Number 30 Acid Golem, and then when he has no materials, I activate Mystic box and switch him to my opponent, and then he'd take 2,000. It was fun. So then I run 3 polymerization, and yes, this is a fusion substitute on purpose. I have a 3rd polymerization in my side deck. He was always treated as polymerization, and fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters you control as fusion monsters, which kind of sucks because it has to be controlled. So it's I might switch him back. I'm still testing with him. Using monsters you control as fusion materials. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and draw a card. So it gives you that draw power and lets you return something like this guy to the deck if you can't pull off a Sabertooth. Honestly, it'd probably just be a little better. Okay, I did it again. I think it's for the thing. I think it'd be better just to add a 3rd polymerization. But he always acts as polymerization, but not from your hand. So I probably would add. Because I don't get to pull off fusion substitute effect as much. So maybe just switch it back to a 3rd polymerization, which, like I said, I do have a 3rd in my side, so you can always side fusion substitute if you want to. Then I run 2 fusion recovery. So probably one of the better spells of the deck, honestly, too. I like it a lot more than the fusion reserve, and this card's a lot cheaper too. So you can add a polymerization and 1 fusion material monster that was used for a fusion summoning from your graveyard. You can add it to your hand, which is really nice. You can get back to dog or something if you use them to fuse. That's part of something I like about because I think it specifically means you have to fuse something, and then when you activate this card, search for something that was fused with another monster or another card. Then I run 2 Pot of Duality, one of the main staples of the decks that I run anymore. A lot of draw power, so draw 3 cards and reveal them, add 1 to your hand, the other 2 go back to your deck. And of course, this isn't one of my decks if I don't run 3 Swords of Radiant Light. One of my favorite spells, honestly, it's so good. You can, sorry about that. I think it's just because it's on carpet and this is a paper mat. But this card, flip all your opponent's monsters face down that are face down, flip them face up. And then, for 3 turns, you're protected. You can't be attacked. And of course, you have the MST, or Dark Ride, or something like that. Then I run 2 Dark Holes, and a Regeki. Because Regeki's legal. I had so many of these cards before, and then I just traded them with people and stuff, and now it's like, it's illegal. It's like, shit, I wish I still had them all. But these Dark Holes are all shiny. So it's like, But yeah, I don't normally point out rarities, but I just like the shiny Dark Hole. It's really cool. It's like holographic. It's not like just, it's not like a shiny rarity like this. It's like all like lines and stuff. But Battle Fusion. When an attack is declared involving a fusion monster you control an opponent's monster, that monster you control gains attack equal to the attack of the opponent's monster it's battling until the end of the damage step. Just means like right away it gains the attack, so it can destroy your opponent's monster. Like if I have Tiger and it's the only card I control, so he gains the 300. So he's at 22, and I attack a Blue Eyes and activate Battle Fusion. So right away he gains 3,000, he's at 52, and then his Blue Eyes is destroyed. And then they take 2,200, which is like really nice. So I run one of them. And then traps, I only run 4 traps. The Flufflal Crane and a Fusion Reserve. Mainly because I only have 1 Fusion Reserve. Maybe you could take out a Crane for a Fusion Reserve. But I love running 3. I like getting this card, it's good. But I don't want to get it all the time, and sometimes I get it when I don't need it, which kind of sucks. So maybe run 2 in a Fusion Reserve. When a face-up Flufflal monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's attack or card effect except the graveyard, target one of those destroyed monsters, add it to your hand, and then draw a card. It's cool, you get like a little draw power. And then Fusion Reserve, you can reveal 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, add 1 of its fusion materials listed on the card from your deck to your hand, then you can add a polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. So if you don't have the polymerization from your graveyard, but you want to activate this card, that's fine, you can activate it and not get the polymerization though. So, now we'll do the extra deck. One of the main reasons I didn't finish this deck, sorry about that, is because Tiger was expensive as fuck. He was like 20 bucks a piece, and it's like, I can't afford that. But at least Chipchamps are cheaper. So, I think it's just because this guy came out, and the hype was forgotten about Tiger. So, 1 Agent Sabers plus 1 or more Flufflal monsters. So when he's fusion summoned, count the amount of materials used. If they use like 3, you can like destroy 3 of your opponent's cards. And then he gains 300 attack for each Flufflal and fight for a monster on the field. All fight for monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Flufflal and fight for you control. So if you have 4 monsters, like I have this little itty sheet here, oops, upside down. That helps me. So like this is Tiger, and if I have 1 Tiger, he's at 22. 2 Tigers is at 25, 28, 31, 34. But if I have both Tiger and Sabertooth on the field, all my other monsters will just gain 700 by their effects. And it's like a little cheat sheet, so it helps me remember things quickly. He's really good. You should really run 3 if you can. 2 Sabertooth, he's like 11 bucks, but I thought it was worth it to spend like 20 bucks on them. Because he's really good. 1 to fight for a fusion monster, which isn't that hard, and plus 1 or more Agent or Flufflal monsters. When he's fusion summoned, you can target 1 fight for a monster in your grave, especially a Tiger, if like the monster you use for a fusion summon, special summon it, and then if 3 or more materials were used for his fusion summon, he cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and he gains 400 attack. All fight for monsters you control gain 400 attack, so he gains 400, and then plus a 300 from him if you have him on the field, so that's 700. Then I run probably my favorite, honestly, 2 Leo. He's amazing. He's really good. A lot of people say he's shit, and they only run 1. But I love him. So he needs Unjump Saw plus 1 Flufflal monster. When he's fusion summoned, is the only way you can use special summon. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. And then he cannot declare a direct attack, but he can still attack, which is really, really good. And then I run 3 Fight for Wolf. He does kind of the same thing, like, he does pretty much the same thing Tiger does, except rather than destroy monsters, he gains that many attacks. So, Edge of Sabers plus 1 more Fluffles. And then if you use 4 Fluffles, he can attack 4 times. That's pretty cool. I usually summon him to get, honestly, for tomorrow, really. And then I run 2 Fright for Bear. Not Fluffles. I think I've been saying Fluffles for like half of these. These were probably my other favorite. Mainly because he came out right away and just reminds me so much of that game. He's a pretty good card too, but people say, hey, he's shit. And it's like, you know what? I think he's pretty good. So when he destroys the opponent's monster by battle, he gains this effect. You can equip that monster to him to gain the effect of this equipped monster gains 1,000 attacks, so he gains 1,000 attacks. If you have 4 equips, he gains 4,000 attacks, so he's at 62. I think he's really good. I summon him sometimes. I think he's worth running the 2. Maybe I could take one out and add Leviar, but the way the build is now, I think it's pretty good. I run 1 Chamara, never really summon it, especially with all these other cool stuff. So I'm going to read his effects since I don't know really what he does. 3 Fright for monsters, must be fusion summoned and can be special summoned by other ways. If this card attacks or is attacked, the opponent can activate cards or effects on the end of the damage step. When this card destroys the opponent's monster with battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to the other side of the field, but its attack is half. You can only use the effect of Fright for tomorrow once per turn. This card gains 200 attack for each monster your opponent controls. That is owned by that. Monsters you own that are controlled by your opponent. I'm sorry. He's not that good, but I didn't run him in case I ever like can summon him, and it's like, you know what, I'll just summon him. Just to summon him. It's kind of cool. And the last 2 monsters are 2 sheep. If you can get a sheep on the field and a Sabertooth, you're like golden like Freddy. Like, that's really, really good. Pretty much sheep. He needs Agent Chain, yes, Chain, and a Flufflal monster. If he attacks his attack, your opponent can activate cards or effects at the end of the damage step. If he is destroyed by battle into the graveyard, or this card in your possession is destroyed by opponent's card effects into the graveyard, special summon him and he gains 800 attack. You can use this effect once per turn. Sorry I read it. I know there's other effects that was in there, but I did know, like, you know, send to the grave, special summon him. And usually they don't be able to get over him because he's level 2800, and then they manage to destroy him again. Next turn, he's brought back again with 2800. It's really nice. He's like a nice little loop you can do. And then, for like the first time I've ever actually done this, it's Matt, I'm sorry. This is going on for a while. My side deck, I actually have a side deck. 3 Leviathar, they're not part of the side deck, but they can be put on the side deck, because I think it's at 15. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it's at 15. 2 level 3s, like I said, you can use Edgem Sabers. You can dash next material, then target a banish level 4 lower monster and special summon it to your side of the field, blah blah blah. He's not really part of the side, but you can probably try to work him in. He's just like something you can work in. 1 King of the Swamp. Pretty much does the same thing Dark Hexel Fusion does. Substitute him for 1 fusion material monster, and when you do, the other one's supposed to be correct. Discard this card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 polarization from your deck to your hand. The deck is then shuffled. I like Dark Hexel Fusion better. But, you know, go with whatever you want. It's just an expensive ass card. Like $10. And most people don't agree. So. 1 Flufflal Owl, 1 Flufflal Leo, 1 Agent Frightful Lord. I haven't told you what he does. He's always treated as a Frightful card. You can target 1 Frightful fusion monster you control in your graveyard. His attack and defense each become equal to the original attack and defense of that monster for the end of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, this art's pretty cool. I try to side like all the Fluffles and characters so I can have them all in the deck. Just like, yeah. Then I run 1 Edgem Star, I think about him. Run 1 Edgem Tomahawk. I don't really know what he does. I know you can discard a card and he becomes like 1. You can send 1 Edgem monster from your hand to the graveyard and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can send 1 Edgem monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Edgem Tomahawk. This card's name becomes a set monster's name to the end phase. And uses the effect once per turn. Yeah, that's all the monsters that I side. Spells, Suture Rebirth. Target a Flufflal or Frightful monster in your graveyard. Special summon if its effects are negated. So mainly you'd use that to like fusion summon. So if something requires a fusion monster like Chamara or Sabertooth, you can special summon it, fuse, and then like Sabertooth will bring it back and its effect would actually activate on the monster that you use. Whoops, that's not what I'm going to. And also, why is it King of the Swamp with those? Okay. Another Frightful fusion, just in case. 2 MST. 1 Defusion. Target 1 face-up fusion monster on the field, shuffle that target into the extra deck, and if all the fusion materials that were used for its fusion summon are in their graveyard, you can special summon them. And it's a quick place. If your opponent goes to attack it and it will be destroyed, you can activate this card and then special summon those. And your opponent will get another, like, whether or not he's attacking. That pollination, which I'm probably going to put back. 2 Designer Pfeiffer. Target 1 edge up or Flufflal monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and it can be treated as a Pfeiffer monster for a fusion summon. And then, Fight for March. When a opponent's spell or trap or monster effect is activated that targets a Pfeiffer monster you control, negate the activation and destroy that card. Then you can send one of the targeted Pfeiffer monsters to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 level 8 or higher Pfeiffer fusion monster from your extra deck. So, like Chamara. This summon is treated as a fusion summon. During your next end phase, banish that monster special summon with this effect. So if you just keep it on the field, I would definitely run this card, at least one. But otherwise, I don't know stuff that's good. And that is it, folks. That is my, that is it. That's my Flufflal deck for February 2nd, 2016. Oh, wait, let me put that little sheet there. I should show you this little sheet. Hold up, you can redraw this sheet. So, Tiger, and that's like a little line, and then plus, and then Sabretooth. Since it looks like a, I don't know. So that's like all their effects mainly. Minus the Chamara. I wrote that and like, oh wait, that's opponent stuff, so just, you don't need to write that, but that's just to help you. It helps me a lot. And, oh yeah, I'm doing like a lot of stuff that's probably entirely pointless. But I have this little guy, stuffed animal. He's just in there, just to have him in there for me. He may look like a harmless stuffed animal, but its super mouth deals a deadly bite. I don't know, I just have him there, because he reminds me of Fluffles. And that's cool. Yeah, thank you for watching this video. Like this video if you like, Fight for a Bear. Comment your favorite Fluffle, and subscribe to Share the Love.